everybody. Happy Sunday. Thanks for joining me. Sorry I'm running a little late. It's, it is what it is. I have allergy eyes again today, so sorry about that. But, it happens. I'm not sure why I'm having so much trouble this year, but we'll figure it out. So, hey, Janelda. So it's week 26. Exciting. We're gonna have our drawing today, so we'll see what we're gonna make for our week 26. So we're halfway through the year. Yay. We're also this week, this is the end of the month tomorrow, so last chance to get your posts in to get you into the drawing for the June giveaway. And we're starting our sale. Woohoo! So for the next 2 weeks, I think I'm going to offer 20% off all of my cards, my kits, and my bead mixes. Okay. You don't get any other combination discounts, but we will get 20% off. The other exciting news I have this week is I launched a website. So if you have people who are interested in purchasing stuff, but they're not on Facebook, I do have the site out there. Now, I will say I'm new to the site thing. I will show you the address in a minute because it's a little hard to find. And, until things get going, I'm using the free one. So it is a little clunky. But I'm not sure I know how to do discounts through the site until somebody tries it. So if somebody places an order, I will try to work through that discount. If you're one of my regular customers, please just continue to do it. Do your orders through Messenger because that's easier for me to do it that way. But like I said, I do know some people who are unsure, and if I'm starting to get a few people watching me on YouTube, I know they don't necessarily use Facebook, so I wanted to give them an easy way to purchase things. So that's our exciting news for the day, for this week. I meant to have the sale posted already, but I got a little distracted because I'm working on a kit for you guys. And when I start working on these kits, I get a little distracted. I get very focused on like, oh, let's try this. But I will tell you, it'll be deserty. So hopefully, you like that. And, it's actually not going to be, an animal this time. So will be plants. Okay. So I'll give you a little preview. And I got to figure out what stuff I have that will go into those things already, and what stuff I need to get to put those kits together. But anyways, I'm excited to share that with you. So after we do our drawing today, I thought I would also just make a quick pair of earrings to help celebrate the 4th of July. So they're gonna be little patriotic earrings, and because, even though we have another show before the 4th, it's our design reveal, so we have to make whatever it is we're going to draw today. So let's go ahead and flip it over, and we will do our drawing and figure out what that is that we're going to make. All right. Let me... That's probably a decent zoom, right? All right, so this is the website. Let me stick it up a little closer there. So it's desert-cat-creations.square.site. And it it uses the same payment way that I use now via Messenger and through email. So anyways, just want you to know that's out there. So we'll leave that off to the side here. All right, let's go ahead and do our drawing. So, for those that are new, Bead Stash Challenge is a set of cards. There's 3 different kinds of cards, and these are used to help you boost your creativity, make something a little different, maybe get out of a rut. You know, maybe you only ever make earrings, or you only ever make bracelets. This can help you with that. Or you're staring at a pile of beads and you don't know where to start. Okay, so these cards can help you get started. So the first one is the make cards. We have 5 decks currently. I have all 5 shuffled in here, but this deck's not that big right now, and that's because we've already drawn 25 cards this year, right? So, so there are 25 more make cards that go if you have all 5 decks shuffled in. We're going to make a wrap bracelet this week. So, just a reminder, our decks are, you have deck 1. This is the base deck. If you're only going to buy 1 deck, buy this deck, okay? It's $15. And the others are designed to expand on these. Now, I do have 2 decks. The Sun and Sea deck and the Desert Southwest deck could be used by themselves, but you'll have a very small set of things to do, right? Our other expansion decks, we have one that deals with color. So everything color, it adds all sorts of color variety to your things. If you guys are like me, you have favorite colors, you gravitate towards those colors when you go buy beads or when you make jewelry. But, you know, there's a lot more other things out there, and it's worth giving them a try, right? So, you know, like, red is not one of my go-to colors, but we used red to make a chili pepper necklace on Thursday. You know, red's not just for Valentine's and Christmas. So there is that. So anyways, that color deck will help get you out. And then there's also what we call our non-jewelry and findings deck. So that's a bunch of things to make that aren't jewelry, like keychains or bracelet helpers, ornaments, any of that kind of stuff is in our non-jewelry and findings deck, or making your own findings. But it's also got a bunch of used cards so that you actually use some of those findings that you collect, because you will collect a lot of different things. And if you're new and you don't really understand what a finding is, it's things like the clasp, it's like a charm, the bail, any of those kind of things fall under used cards. And so when I shuffle the used cards, and these are, my stack is getting really small here. We are going to have to shuffle in the other ones soon. But these cards tell me what to go look for in my stash that I'm going to use in my design. And the great thing about using these cards is when I go look through my stash for things, I discover things that I'd forgotten I had, and then I can pull them out and make a project, or use some of them up, or also realize that I have something and I don't need to go buy more. So there's that. Now, if you're new, you could draw just 1 card. I draw 3. I think it's a nice challenge to incorporate 3 different things into your design. So that's what I choose to do. But like I said, you could just draw 1. So we are going to use wire in our wrap bracelet. Now, wire means, could be craft wire, it could be beading wire. You can use either definition there. You could use memory wire. You can use, it just has to be wire of some sort, something labeled wire, okay? We're going to use some gemstone chips in our design. And we are going to use turquoise in my design. So, wire is from our original deck. I think the gemstone chips, I can't remember if that's in our original deck or in the newest deck. I will full admit. And then turquoise. So, Now, drawing the turquoise card. Turquoise is both a color and a stone, right? So I can use either. I can use turquoise colored stuff. I can use turquoise, actual turquoise in my design. Either one fills that requirement. Okay. And so then we also have our third kind of cards. So our challenge cards, these are the cards that really try to get you out of your comfort zone, or you know, think outside the box. So they might be a theme that you have to apply. It might be a design technique. It might be just, you know, like a number of items that need to be in your design. So all those things are included in challenge cards. So all of the, I believe all of the decks have challenge cards, although like the color deck and the findings deck, I think they each, I know one of them only has one one challenge card, but you'll see that I get use a lot of challenge cards in the other decks. So now I normally only draw one challenge card, but depending on what it is, I have drawn two before. But and we're making a multi-strand or wrapped design, which actually works perfectly with my wrapped bracelet. So that's not much of a challenge, right? So I could, if I wanted to, because those all fit together. Hey, Marinica, thanks for joining me. So we're going to be making a bracelet, a wrap bracelet, which is a multi-strand or wrap design, right? So if I wanted to, I could draw another challenge card. Let's just see what the next one is, just in case we want to use it. So we could design something for a holiday. So in this case, I could use both of these. So because this one is sort of redundant, it's okay. And then I can make my design for a holiday. So you know what? I think I will use both of them. We'll see how that goes. Like I said, it's kind of up to you. You know, if you already know that you want to make a pair of earrings, but you don't know what you want to use in them, you can skip the make card, draw some use cards to give you some ideas of what you might want to use in them, or you could just draw a challenge card and make a theme for making those earrings. That's always an option for you as well. So, you know, like I said, make it yours, but you know, we do want it to be a little bit of a challenge, because that's what gets you to be better at making jewelry. All right, so that's going to be interesting. So we're going to make a wrap bracelet. We're using wire, turquoise, gemstone chips. It's going to be designed for a holiday, and it's going to be a multi-strand or wrap design. So we'll see what I come up with on Thursday at noon. All right, noon Pacific. So, all right, let's see what we're going to make today. So I bought these little star buttons at when Joann Fabrics was going out of business, or closing my store at least. I think they're going totally out. I'm pretty sure you can buy these flare buttons other places, but I saw those and I was like, oh, those would be fun for July 4th or whatever. So, all right, apparently that package is pretty well sealed. So, all right, so we've got, package came with 11 buttons. Buttons are always fun to work with. I don't know why they chose 11. It's kind of I'm sure they had their reasons, but it seems like a strange number. Because, like, You would think you could have put 2 white ones in there, right? Anyway, so we're going to use a little bit of wire. I've got some 22 gauge silver wire here. I do have, in case I need it in my design, some random red, white, and blue beads. I think we made an anklet last year together. I do want a couple of beads to go behind my buttons. I had a bunch of clear beads the other day. Oh well, let me pull out. We'll just pull some stuff out of the bead soup, because that's what bead soup's for, right? Is, you know, those random little beads you want. And I'll show you in a minute why I'm focused on getting some beads out. So what I'm pulling out is just some clear spacer beads that were used. I'm pretty sure they were used between items, you know, in between some beads in a strand. Like one more. All right, that should be enough, hopefully. All right, now if you don't already have, you know, a jar for your leftover beads, you should start one, because bead soup is one of those things you want to use to make things, because you don't want your beads to go to waste, right? So we've got, you know, some big stars, we've got some smaller stars. We've got some red and blue. I don't know, maybe I could mix those, or all right, which of the big stars should I use? Actually thinking, you know, if I want to use red, white, and blue, I'm thinking I'll use, so should I go with the red as my big one, or the blue as my big one? And I think then I'm going to like dangle a white bead below. To sort of bring it full circle. What do you guys think? Red or blue? You like the red with the blue center? Then what would I do with the small ones? The red or the blue? What do you think? Blue? Because if I do that one, I kind of feel like I need blue at the bottom, and I don't think those are the right shade of blue. Although maybe close enough. I only have one white star. I would use white, but it only came with one. So if I'm gonna make 2 earrings, I have to use either red or blue as my smaller color here. I know, it's, I like I said, I don't know why, because it made 11 things in the package, so. Weird, huh? It was by design, because, I mean, the thing said it was 11 pieces. They weren't wrong. I do have blue, although it's a darker blue, but so I guess I don't have to put stars in. Red with blue, blue. So red and white with blue, or red and blue with blue? I'm so confused today. See, make sure I have some. Red and white with the blue blue. Yeah, I'm thinking I like that combo too. All right, we'll do this and we'll figure out what we're gonna do with those some other. All right, so I'm thinking I'll you know, just dangle like a white dangle in there. So I like to build my earrings kind of from the bottom up usually. Though with buttons, it may be easier to do them the other way. So with buttons, you know, remember you've got, these are, these ones have the nice, goodness sakes. My brain is not working. Hey Lorraine, we are making some patriotic earrings. And Paula's like having brain issues here today. All right. So I am going to just cut off, I don't know, about 6 inches of wire, which is probably more than I need, but I'd rather have a little extra. So for for buttons with the shank, there we go, the button shank, you know, you're gonna have to wrap it around it to sort of stabilize it. Now this one really could go either way. Let's see. I may try to make it go vertical so that that point is on the top. So what that means is I'm going to put my wire in the middle, and then I am going to wrap it all the way around, and then I'm going to go down, and then the other wire I'm going to wrap in the opposite direction. And we'll see if it doesn't want to stay on there, but oh, you know what, actually I should go the other way, because I think I need to go the same direction so that it comes up on the other side. So I am going to go around one more time, and then I'm going to Wrap my other one more time. And the main thing, I just want it to be tight, okay? So I've got wire sticking out both directions in the direction that I want things to hang. You know, with the star, it's not as critical as if you were using, you know, some character or something that needed to be upright. But, and then I'm going to stick a button on, or a bead on here. And I'm going to make a small wrapped loop. Now, you know what? Actually, I think I'll just use that on the top. So here, if I want my wrap kind of hidden and just the loop hanging down, I want to start my loop like just above where the bottom of the button is. So I'm going to do my 90 degrees, then I am going to put my pliers in here, and it's a little awkward to work. You know, you may have to pull things out a little to get them to look smoothly and then push them back, which is the great advantage of working with wire. So I've got my loop there, and it's sticking out just barely from the bottom. And now I am going to pull it back a little so that I can wrap that end around there. I just want to wrap it, you know, a few times. The thing about button earrings, if you're making them, is they are not necessarily going to look pretty from behind. So we've got one loop, and it'll hang down there. Now, to keep the button from rocking a little, I want to put, so you'll see there's a space between my wire and my button. So to keep the button from moving too much, I'm going to go ahead and put a bead in here. And then I'm going to make my loop on top of that bead, okay? All right. And it's a little awkward to get in there. And like I said, you may have to, you know, bend it out a little to get your wire wrapped behind this button. But then you want to wrap it down until that bead is in there tight. We are going to wrap it, cut it very close there, but I'll tuck that in, being careful not to crush my bead. I may have to trim that, it's a little long. There we go. All right, so, and now I'm just gonna press my wires on both sides of that shank so they're down nice and tight against the butt, or the back of the button. Got my loop going up, and I've got my loop at the bottom. So there's one there. That was a little wonkier than I needed. So my next button's a little smaller, so like I said, I'm just eyeballing it. So it's probably about 5 inches. So I am going to do something similar. I'm going to go in the middle. And wrap one of the wires around a couple times there. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. I'm wrapping it once under and once over. I don't know that it matters, but I just want to make sure these, the wires are nice and snug there. And now I just want to do my wrapped loops, and again, you know, you just, depending on how much you want it to show, which I'm trying to hide it a little bit, which means I may have to use jump rings if I have it too close together. But so I ended up doing my bottom one first, which is fine. Now I'm just going to do my wrap. And, you know, I'm going to try to use as much of my wire as I can because I want it to be firm in there. So I'm going to pull out my pliers and tighten it up a little. All right, let's see if we can trim it a little closer this time. Okay, ow. I did not tuck that in yet, obviously, because I just poked my finger. Okay. All right, so there we have our one for the bottom, which will be attached to this white bead when we do that. So this one has to attach under there. So I'm going to make the loop right at the top of the star here. And I pulled that around, and let's connect it onto here. All right, so this one is going to have to go perpendicular to the and I just stuck it on backwards, so that's good. That's why we practice. But oh, and I also stuck it to what I wanted to be the top, so let's flip that around. All right, so if you're directionally challenged, like I am occasionally, you know, you may have to fit it on there just to see how it does, but I think there's enough room there. So now it's gonna be interesting as we try to hold this and wrap at the same time. So I'm gonna bend it out a little bit, see if I can get in there with my fingers. That's one advantage of using 22 gauge, is that it's easily workable with my fingers, as long as you can grip it. And I'm obviously gonna, stuff's getting a little out of shape here. I'm gonna have to fix it as we finish doing our wrap. So I know you guys can't see that because I can barely see it, but I've got an end still that needs to be wrapped a little further around and tucked in. So all right, it's tucked in. It's looking sloppy, but like I said, the back of button earrings is not always pretty, and I think I turned that. All right, well, there it is connected, and now we'll connect our one on the bottom, which should be a little easier. So I'm just going to use head pins that already have a ball on them. I'm not making my own head pins today. And I'm just going to make a quick little wrap loop. Now, you could certainly have used, you know, finish these loops separately as opposed to connected, which is a little easier. And then you don't have to sort of fight with them as much. You can use jump rings to connect them, and it would give you more movement in your project. It's you know, a chance for something to open up and come apart. But you know, with earrings, there's not a whole lot of stress put on them unless you've got like a baby pulling on your ears or a cat. My cats always like to play with dangly things, so you know, sometimes your earrings can draw their attention, especially when they were kittens. All right, so there we've got our button earring. Maybe I'll try building the other. Well, I don't know. Putting the dangle at the bottom was not hard, but let's see, some ear wires here. And we'll close that up. All right, there we have one patriotic button earring. Since we're getting close to 1 o'clock, I will make the other one off screen and I will post those. But, you know, if you have any questions about using buttons or wire, let me know. So here's just a reminder. This is our new website. So if you have people who are not on Facebook that are interested in Bead Stash Challenge or the or my kits or my bead mixes, this is the site. Like I said, I am going to be running a sale. If you're used to ordering from me through Messenger, please continue to order from me in Messenger because it's easier for me. I had not totally figured out how I can put the sale on the website. I'm gonna have to work on that. But if somebody places an order, I will try to give them the sale price during the next 2 weeks. I'm doing 20% off, and it's 20% off across the board, any kit, beads, or cards, for the next 2 weeks. So it is, if you've been waiting to get the new stuff, or any of the bead mixes, now is a great time to do it. Let me flip this over. And if you haven't already, make a post on our Bead Stash Challengers group. So that's where we share our designs. I have all the heads up for the latest products, the sales. You can buy, you can send messages to me directly in that group and buy something. That works out really well. We can, like I said, we share things, but everybody who posts gets in for our drawing every month. Sorry, I'm like, oh, okay. The comments are like delayed on my screen. It's very weird. I don't know. Facebook's been acting weird. I've been, even when I was shopping or watching other people's stuff this weekend, I was getting some comments. I had to keep going in and out to get the comments. So it sounds to me like that's a Facebook problem, because a lot of people were having the same complaints, but it is annoying. Anyways, all right. So sale next 2 weeks, new website. If you have people who don't use Facebook, it's an opportunity for them to order from me in some place that doesn't require them to send a message or just an email. If you haven't already, please follow us on Desert Cat Creations, and Instagram, on Facebook, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Those are all great. I don't really think I have anything else. You have that problem a lot of. Yeah, I don't, like I said, it's been acting up lately, and I try to reboot all my stuff, turned off for a few minutes, because that often helps a lot. And then before I'm doing something that I need to be seeing what's coming. But today apparently it didn't help. So maybe my internet's, my internet gets a little overheated. It is supposed to be 104 here today. Yeah, we've got some hundreds, but we've got a really good chance of getting some rain this week. So we're all excited about that. Because we really, really need it. So, all right. So tune in Thursday. We will be making a wrap bracelet. We'll be using wire of some sorts, turquoise of some sorts, gemstone chips of some sorts. And then my challenge is to make a multi-stranded wrap design, which I was already going to do, right? And so I drew a second challenge, and we're going to design it for a holiday. So we'll have to think about, I suspect I know what holiday I will design it for, but you never know. Maybe I will, yeah, we'll see. Anyways, thanks again. I'll be back Thursday at noon. And like I said, if you've been waiting to order, I'm offering 20% off for the next 2 weeks. And I'm also hoping to announce my newest kit. Like I said, I have, still have to make part of I actually have to make all my prototypes so make sure that I have stuff, and then I probably have to order some stuff. I have some of the stuff I need. I don't have all of it, so those will be forthcoming, but I hope you guys get excited about them. Once I kind of hone in on something and get something new that I like, I get a little distracted, and it's like I don't think I really have ADHD or ADD, but it's like squirrel. It's like, oh, I can't, I'll do that, and then I end up ignoring the other stuff that I need to be doing, like putting up my announcement of my sale. But it all works out in the end, right? It'll all catch up. I'll have a busy day. So I'm also going to do 2 short videos that will be out on YouTube. I'll also share them with the group. I'm going to do one to just remind everybody what the Dex cards are, what's in them, what the themes or whatever is, what's the difference between the cards. I'm going to do a second one on all the kits I certainly have out there. The bead mixes and stuff will be included in the card video because they are designed to go along with those decks. It doesn't mean you can't use them independently because, they're hopefully fun bead mixes and stuff that, you look forward to using. But anyways, those are coming. So I have a busy day ahead of me, so I hope my brain catches up with where I need to be today. So it might make the videos more entertaining though. So anyways, there we are. So all right, thanks always for joining me and for all your support. I appreciate it, and hope you guys have a great week. I will see you on Thursday if I don't see you on some of the other sites that we all play along on. So see you soon. Bye.